What was that? Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. The sun is out. It is a beautiful day here in West Sussex. And if you're new to the channel, this is what we call a dog walk video. But this one is very special. Very special indeed. You're out walking now, you're not meant to bark. Have a sniff, do stuff, you know, explore, find pheasants. Do you know what? I absolutely love this time of year. If I just stop, and you hear the skylarks. They're up there, you have to look in the sky and look really, really carefully because they're so tiny and they fly up so high whenever we walk nearby. I just love it. So, as I said, if you're new to the channel, you're probably thinking, why is Petrol Ped going for a walk? Well, the dog walk video concept started way back during lockdown. Remember that? Now, when lockdown was announced in the UK, I, like most people, thought it was going to last about, I don't know, a couple of weeks, tops. And as an automotive YouTuber, all of the ability to make films was taken away from me. I couldn't drive cars out, we couldn't leave the house. But I still, in my ultimate stupidity, decided that I was going to do a daily vlog for the first ever time. Normally I make 3 films a week. And then suddenly I'm going to do a film every day and upload it at 6 o'clock. And I called it my COVID-19 daily vlog. And long-term subscribers to the channel, I'm sure, will remember it. I still, to this day, get people come up to me at events and whenever they see me and thank me for those videos. And it's one of the things I'm most proud of that I've done on Petrol Ped, actually. It was a hugely enjoyable process. It gave me something to kind of take my mind off the state of the world at the time and all the worries in the world. But I obviously needed to make content. And one of the things I thought was, well, I quite like sharing my life with you, sharing my thoughts. And I thought it would be an opportunity for you to get to know me a little bit more. And as a dog owner, we take the dogs for a walk every day. And I'm very lucky. At the back of the house we've got this beautiful farm, and beautiful over there we've got the kind of national park and stuff. It's really, really lovely. So I thought, well, we'll go for a dog walk video and we'll just talk about something, and I selected a subject and off we went. Anyway, lockdown lasted 10 weeks. In that period of time I made over 80 videos, and there were quite a few dog walk videos in there. And during those dog walk videos, I think the people watching it really fell in love with my lovely 2 miniature Schnauzer dogs. Darcy, named after Darcy Bustle. Dame Darcy B was her full name. And Hallie, who came along a few years later. And that's why I thought it was apt today to do a dog walk video to talk to you about the last week. Now actually, dog walk videos weren't the first time I had the dogs on the channel. I can't remember the first video. I tried to have a think back through my extensive catalogue of videos. There's like 1,300 of them or something. But it was either they were walking around in the background when I was filming, or I decided to start putting them in films. And the simple test was, can you fit 2 dogs in the boot? Which, when the dogs are as small as my dogs, is a pretty useless test, really. But it seemed to be quite popular. People seemed to like it, and the girls really loved it. They'd always like jump in the back, and then when I opened the doors, they'd be there. And it became a thing. And they became a bit of a star or stars on the channel. And I love that there was an identity there, that people, and there were so many of you that were either dog owners, and you'd let me know what dogs you had. And it was really cool, actually, during the COVID-19 daily vlog, I also did the kind of shout out to peddlers pups, and lots of you sent me pictures of your dogs too. And then there's so many of you have schnauzers as well, and I still follow quite a few of them on Instagram, and they just became this personality on the channel, and I absolutely love that. And I know for some people tuning in or dipping into one video, they probably thought, what's this dude doing, putting a couple of dogs in the boot, what's that about? But long-term subscribers, people who follow me over a long period of time, the peddlers, the people for me I make the videos for, loved them. And I was just delighted that you did. So yeah, it was very, very special. It's so funny, those boot tests kind of expanded a bit, and I started to be brave and pitch ideas with the dogs into brands. I remember getting a 992 Carrera 4S Cabriolet from Porsche, and we drove to Foxhill Manor in the Cotswolds with the dogs in the back, and it was just a great demonstration of the car. And so many people have dogs and they want to kind of have those dogs enjoy the car with them. But then what was happening was quite interesting. I was starting to get invited to stuff by brands directly, and the first one that made me smile, I got invited to an event. Well, actually, correction, the dogs got invited to an event by Mini, and it was all about how dog friendly the Mini brand was. And the invite literally said, Darcy and Hallie, you're invited to this press trip. Will your owner bring you along? So it wasn't even me that was invited. And then I guess most recently, just a month or two ago, we went down to Chewton Glen with Skoda. And that was really cool because the dogs were invited, they were part of the trip. The car came delivered with dog preparation. It had harnesses for the girls and a liner in the back for them. And then when we got to the venue, it was all lovely. There were dog beds, and it was just such a dog-friendly event. And for me, that really meant a lot because the kind of dogs were part of the channel and part of that persona. Talking about dogs, shall we have a chat about what happened last week? Come on, let's go this way. Come on, chick. I have a feeling this is going to be the difficult bit. So Tracy and I have been married for, well, it's 25 years this year actually. And we made a decision quite a long time ago that we weren't going to have a family. Instead, we both love dogs, and dogs were the outlet for that love and that maternal instinct, and the love we got back was very special. So the plan was just dogs, and the challenge with that is dogs will give you absolute, complete and utter love and loyalty and devotion for their lifetime. But sadly, their lifetime, in the vast majority of cases, is shorter than yours. So you know the big day's coming. So last weekend, we actually took the dogs down to Cornwall in a Porsche press car. And that video hasn't come out yet. I'm struggling to be able to edit it because of what happened shortly after. Well, we were down in Cornwall, staying at our favourite hotel, having a lovely time. And over the last 6 months, Darcy, the older of our two dogs, who would have been 14 in June, has been starting to slow down. We couldn't take her out for walks, could we, dude? Because she's like, you know, basically like a little rocket. So we couldn't take her out for walks as much. We bought a backpack to kind of carry her on longer walks. She was starting to get very confused. She'd lost her hearing a long time ago. Although I say that, she couldn't hear anything, but she could hear a packet of crisps being opened from about a mile away. And while we were down in Cornwall, she started to get a bit poorly. She had an upset tummy and she clearly wasn't right at all. And we were quite worried about her, and we came home and we thought she just had a really nasty tummy upset. So we took her to the vet last Tuesday. And the vet he said, it's not great, let's have a look, and did some blood tests, and the blood test came back that day. And the main flag was she had, in her bloods, it showed that her liver wasn't working properly. And we kind of knew that a little bit. She'd had some dental work done about 6 months ago and had blood tests for that, and same thing, although the markers, the enzymes in her blood weren't that bad then, but by the time we had it done last week, they were really quite bad. And he said, look, that's really not a great sign at all. And there's some flags for maybe some problems with her pancreas. So ideally, we really need to get a scan so that we can see what's happening inside. So the next day, she went into the wonderful vets at Downland Veterinary here in Chichester, although for the scan, she actually went over to Emsworth. And they did a scan, and it showed that her liver had grown in size. It didn't look good at all, and it was highly likely to be a tumour, and probably a cancerous tumour. We had the option to do biopsies and tests and things, but that wouldn't have changed the course of action for us. We wouldn't have done anything differently. We just wanted the best thing for Darcy, and putting her through a general anaesthetic and all of that, we just didn't want that at all. So we decided not to do further tests. And the vet said, look, we'll give her some fluids, we'll give her some pain relief, and we'll try and help her. She hadn't really had a poo for about 3 days, so we'll try and help her do that. And then she could be good to come home tomorrow. And then you've not got very long, but you might have a few weeks. So that was actually on the Wednesday, was reasonably positive. I spoke to the vet at the end of play on Wednesday, and she was bright and having cuddles from all the lovely veterinary nurses in the practice, and she'd eaten and she was bright and stuff. And we thought, oh, okay. And then Thursday morning, I'd already boarded the train to go up north to pick up my 911. And the vet rang for the morning update, and it wasn't good news. She'd deteriorated overnight, and I knew straight away. And I spoke to Tracy on the phone, and she did as well. So I literally turned around and came back home. And we made that awful decision that dog owners have to, and it's not just dogs, it's any pet owner has to make every now and again. And that's your selfish, I wanted it to stay around forever, but that's just not going to happen. You have to be and do what's right for the dog. And it was her time, and they brought her in, and you could just tell in her eyes that was it. She was done. It was her time, and we said goodbye to our girl, and it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It was just, I think you don't realise just how deep inside you they locked their love, and I felt like someone had ripped my heart out. And it's really tough. But we know it was the right thing, and there was no other option really. But Jesus, did it hurt, and still does. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to make this video, apart from I just wanted to talk about it to someone, and you guys have been a part of my life for over 9 years, and the community that we built up, I just feel like, for me, is a type of family. But we hear so much today in the press about the negativity of social media, the destructive power of social media. And I understand that, and there are plenty of examples about terrible things that happen. But we often don't talk about the positive side of social media. And for me, what happened on Thursday evening into Friday, and is still happening now, was unbelievable. It was touching, and it was so supporting and comforting. So I put a post out on Instagram and Facebook. First one I put out was on my own personal account to my friends and family, and the messages that came back and the direct texts and WhatsApps and so on were just so beautiful and so thoughtful. I'm a member of a mini schnauzer owners group on Facebook. Well, sorry, let me rephrase that. Darcy and Hallie are members of the mini schnauzer owners group on Facebook. And Darcy had been a member for nearly 14 years. And the amazing thing is, apart from really good friends of ours who have 2 schnauzers who are also in that group, I've never met physically anybody in that group. But we message and there's posts all the time. And you really get to kind of grow this sense of community. We called it the posse. All the dogs kind of come on to Facebook. And if describing it now sounds daft, but they all come on in their own voices and they all have their own personalities and do cool things. And Darcy had been a big part of that group since the day we got her. And the response from my post saying that she'd had to be put to sleep and had crossed the Rainbow Bridge, which is what happens to all pets, was just overwhelming. I mean, really overwhelming. Hundreds of messages of people just saying how they remember certain things that Darcy had done, and so many people lighting candles that evening with a picture of Darcy or something special and sending it to me. It was just overwhelming. And then I come to you guys, and I put a post on Instagram and I put a post on Facebook, and the response was just, for both Tracy and I, so powerful and so lovely. We had no idea. Well, we knew that you guys loved the pups, but the response was just beautiful. So many lovely messages, so many kind words, so much love and support. You have no idea how much that helped us in that difficult time. And then the final thing, in my 9/11 collection video, and I honestly didn't do this on purpose, but excuse me, one of the reasons I bought a 911 was in the Boxster. There was nowhere for the pups to go, and in a 911 there's 2 little seats in the back, and I literally went out and bought a 911 so that we could take the dogs with us on adventures. And the day I was meant to pick that up, we lose one of them. And the comments in that video have been amazing. And one of the things I asked in that video, unrelated to Darcy actually, I hadn't even put 2 and 2 together, was I name all of my cars and all of my bikes, and I was struggling to come up with a name for the 911. So I said, well, what should we call the 911? And the overwhelming response is, name it after the dog. Name it after Darcy as a tribute. You can't physically take her with you on your adventures, but if the car is named after Darcy, she's always with you. And that is exactly what we're going to do. So when I do my first drive video, I'll tell you exactly what the name is. But I just wanted to say from here, from my absolute bottom of my heart, I wanted to thank everybody who had taken the time to comment on Facebook or Instagram or on the YouTube video, or many of you sent me DMs and stuff, and it's just been wonderful. Thank you. It's a bit warm today, jacket's off. So what's next? Well, first thing, we need to look after this one. She's lost her best mate. You know, she was not on her own before we got her as a puppy. The first thing she knew was Darcy, and although Darcy hated her for the first 6 months, it took them a while to kind of bond. But then they were inseparable, so she's only ever known having another dog in the house. And the last few days she's been really quiet and a bit off colour, so I'm sure she'll be fine, won't you, dude? Hey? You okay? You lost your best mate, haven't you? Yeah, at least we've got this one. I'll put her down so she can have an explore. Many years ago, we had a boxer, and she was like 14 and a half, and when we lost her, that was actually Tracy's dog before I met Tracy. So although I love that dog to bits, I think the difference with Darcy was we were there when we first saw her as a puppy at like 5 weeks old, and Darcy chose us, and then we went to pick her up at 10 weeks, and you bond instantly. So when Maddie died, I remember we went home and the house was empty and it was just horrific. It was like this big hole. And don't get me wrong, at home at the moment, there is a big hole that's like 50 times bigger than Darcy ever was. But at least we've got Hallie and it kind of helps things a little bit. So I guess the next steps really is to just get on with things and remember her and so on. And Hallie will still be in videos, and now it's just going to be a test of, can we fit one dog in the boot? When we drive out in the 911, there'll be one seat free, but Darcy will always be with us. But, yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you, really, and also explain what's happened. A lot of people had asked what had happened, and I wanted to just share that with you. But yeah, my running partner lives on. She's an amazing pup. But I'm sure many of you have been through the same thing. And, goodness me, I'm talking about a dog. If it was a child or a close family member, I know that pain is raw. And for me, the way to kind of deal with it is to externalize it, to talk to people. I think it's very easy, and I can see now, because of the feelings inside me right now, how easy it would be just to shut down and hold those feelings inside and think you can deal with them on your own. But I'm not so sure that's a great course of action, to be honest. I think you need to manage your feelings and understand them for you first. But I think being able to talk about it to somebody, to share how you're feeling with somebody, to not let things boil up inside, is really, really important. And if nothing else, maybe that's the outcome of this video. Whether or not we do more dog walk videos, we shall see. I've had so many people request one over the last year or so, but honestly, I'm so busy with kind of doing the normal car review, car event type stuff, and I'm sure the algorithm probably doesn't thank me a great deal for a dog walk video, but I might drop one in now and again. But it's good to be back out here filming, and what a beautiful day and a beautiful view. But as I said, Tracy and I wanted to thank you all for the lovely messages and love and support. But if you enjoyed that, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. And me and a petrol pup. Excuse me, what are you doing over there? There's a gate. You've gone through the gate? Anyway, we're going to take a walk back home now. But I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.